Final countdown, final. Hey, what's up? Voiced, what's up? Welcome back. What is up, people? So, welcome to episode 2. Very excited, talking about mindset today. And I want to talk about the current state of life as relates to our own humanity. So, I'm talking about mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and everything else in between. All right, so I'm not here to proclaim that I know anything, because I really don't. And honestly, I don't think anyone really truly does. But from what we're currently experiencing within the world regarding this pandemic, I feel that this could be a wonderful opportunity to really talk about our humanity. So by design, we're very primal, okay? We're universal, but like any organism, we have a sense of survival. Our brain is kind of wired that way. And when anything comes to our life, like as an external stimulant that could cause any type of like scary potential threat, we're going to start seeing the things that we're seeing right now in society. So mass pandemic, hysteria, this whole anxiety, all these fears. And honestly, I think it's predominantly all within the aspects of uncertainty. Yeah, just living in an uncertain time of our life, right? And we're kind of wired that way. So I can only speak from my own experiences, but for me, in order to get into a place of freedom that I feel that I am, I had to really accept and recognize the very nature of life is uncertain. And to me, that's structure. It's like saying water's wet, and you're like, well, yeah, duh. But to have that same logical understanding that life is uncertain, it's natural. And, on top of uncertainty, as human beings, our brain is wired to always try to predict and to protect our well-being, because life itself is uncertain and our brains are wired to be in survival mode, right? It's true. So when you look at the disparity between the construct that we live in, life is uncertain, and then our brain is wired to try to create all things certain so that it's not, worried, you can definitely see the conflict, right? I do. So what's the opportunity, you might ask? Well, as far as I'm concerned, it's not about who you are. It's not about your resources or where you're from or your net worth, because honestly, none of that really matters, because we don't know what's going to happen today or tomorrow. Absolutely not. And I'm not trying to be lighthearted, because I know, this is an incredible time of fear and scary, and this pandemic is like bringing to surface a lot of things that we're really worried about. So I don't want to be lighthearted about that. But when you consider that life is uncertain and you can accept that, it's a little bit liberating. To me, it is. It's hard to live in a life that we're always trying to figure out what's going to happen next. All you do is end up really becoming exhausted, right? And how many of us live our lives like that? It's like constantly worried about a bad future and then taking all the necessary steps to map that out, and then realize that nothing's really going to happen because we have no control over it. And that was a lot of wasted energy. So even though this mass pandemic, it is very scary. And honestly, I don't want to be lighthearted about that, because those feelings that we're all experiencing, they're legitimate and they're justified, definitely on a human level. There's no judgment over here. And honestly, it's all compassion. But nonetheless, they're all pretty much, in my opinion, the byproduct of the part of us that's just trying to survive. The grasping, the holding, the attachment of our own survival and existence. Again, nothing wrong with that, but it can be exhausting at times, right? What if, outside the virus, your doctor or care provider were to come to you and say, listen, sorry, you only have 3 more days to live. Go take care of your belongings, go take care of your family, and get all the things in order to depart this world. Honestly, that happens by the millions every day pre-virus, but it's just not broadcasted on social media or CNN, right? Life is like that at times, and it can definitely be scary. But to me, this is a wonderful opportunity to really realign and change our mindset. And my invitation to you, and to myself included, is to really recognize that these fears and unrest, they're not coming from the virus. No, the virus doesn't create that. In fact, the virus does not create disparity. It reveals the disparity that is already inherent within our systems. Yeah, it's already within our psyche. It's just bringing to the surface all these things that have already been dormant, really. So it's like the very reason of a surgeon going in and cutting out a tumor. There is going to be a healing process, but he has to cut the skin, and it is a scary time to go through, right? Likewise, this virus to me is bringing to surface all the things that are unreconciled within our own psyche and within our own well-being. And that creates fear, right? And those are the things that we're experiencing right now. I know that this virus is scary. I think that we take a lot of things that we don't realize for granted, right? Our friends, our coworkers, our family, just all the community around us, the Starbucks that I love going to every day. And I'm certainly guilty for that. For a large portion of my life, I've been guilty of that. But I'm wondering how many of us are truly living versus surviving. I know that might sound a little cliche, and that's the last thing I want to come across as being cliche. But how many of us could use this opportunity, this moment, as a wake-up call to come on the, to go through this, and then suddenly on the other side to come out just having a deeper sense of self-worth, appreciation for our community, appreciation for ourselves, appreciation for our family, and ultimately, really to be appreciative of being human. That's honestly the big takeaway for me today, is really to realize that, this is a scary time to be in, and life is uncertain. And my brain is wired to always try to figure out what to take care of so that I don't live in a life of uncertain. But you can't do that. So to me, and my invitation to all of you is really to step outside, to see yourself in a new way, to appreciate yourself in a new way, so that this virus could generate a byproduct of us being more grateful for ourselves and for the community that we live in. I invite each one of you to have a comfort level of living a life of being uncertain, and to really discover the fact that, we just don't know what's going to happen, but to be at peace with ourselves. And then also mentally, to be the best person that we can be, and just to be in peace and to be still with that. And then recognize, where are we placing our energy? Is it being represented and placed into anxiety, or should it be realigned into maybe things that we love about ourselves, new hobbies, new activities, new things that we can invest in that we didn't normally have, we couldn't do on a normal basis when we had all these other distractions in life. That's my kind of gift to you, and that's what this is all about. Sending much love. Really see the value that you have in yourself, because each one of us has so much more than what we really knew. And to recognize that this virus, it's a scary thing to go through, but how many other things that were unreconciled within us that are truly the things that we need to recognize and address right now. All right, playing that forward, much love. Have a great weekend, have a great week, and I'll see you next time on our next broadcast and podcast on Spotify, The Voiced. Take care.